Hello world, and welcome to Elevated Intuition. Today we are doing a pick card reading about your vibe. So what does your vibe say about you? What are the things that people are subconsciously picking up from you? And then if you are putting out like a vibe that people are taking advantage of you or that isn't necessarily for your best good, we talk about how to work on that, how to change that. Part of it is just like the realization of the vibe that's going out. So pick a card reading means you get to pick the card, the number, the deck, the object. You use your intuition to do that. Then in the description down below, I have timestamps where you click on that and then you meet me at your reading. And then I use my intuition to read the cards for you. So a lot of intuition going on here. For the options, oh, and also all of the decks that I use, I always place what it is in the description. So if you have questions about that, if you're looking for other readings, that is where they are. So for group number 1, this tarot deck is the Kawaii Tarot. So it's very cute because that's what Kawaii means. And the object that goes with it is this Sodalite. And then for group number 2, this is the Reverie Tarot. And the object that goes with it is this Rhodonite. And for group number 3, this is the Way of the Panda Tarot. And what goes with it is this, it's green and it's agate. It's an agate egg. If you're still not sure which one is for you, that's okay. We can do a breathing exercise together. Go ahead and close your eyes. Make sure that you're comfortable. We're going to take a deep breath in and release. We're going to set the intention that you get the messages that you need to hear right now. Take another deep breath in and release. Okay, open your eyes, and wherever your eyes are drawn, that is the group for you. Thank you so much for being here with me. Please think about liking and subscribing or making comments, and I will see you in the next read, or I will see you at your reading. Hello group 1, and welcome to your reading about your vibe, what others are seeing, how your vibe makes other people feel. And the first thing that we have here that can kind of tell us a little bit about your vibe is what you chose. So we have, this is Sunset Sodalite. Sodalite is the blue parts here, and what makes it Sunset Sodalite is, say that 3 times fast, is the orange inclusions of this feldspar, and then we get some calcite with it, the white calcite. So it all combines in this particular stone to make it look very earth-like, in my opinion. Let me know if your opinion differs, and I'm cool with that, what you think that would look like. Or what it looks like, or what it reminds you of, or why you picked it. I'd love to know. It is said to help you with your third eye chakra and your throat chakra. So aligning those chakras, and your third eye chakra is your psychic abilities, your throat chakra is your communication. So your vibe communicates a lot to other people. It's not always what you say, but how you say it. And I think that there's a certain respect in what you say and how you say it. When you're drawn here to this particular gem or crystal. I want to get out, sorry, I just was like, I want to use this deck. And I kind of have it hidden. We'll get some more out of this one. Just want to get some cards out here first. Vibe for group number 1, and we get the Tower. Very interesting. And then I also pulled this card out of the Witches of Legend deck. So we've got Agate and the Tower. There's a magnetic energy here. I mean, you might like a lot of ice cream, but there's a magnetic energy with the tower. The tower is, I mean, on the traditional tower card, we have the lightning bolt striking the tower, and on this one we have it as well. I think there's joy here in change. There's at least a perception of other people that when change occurs, like you're the person to turn to. You've got kind of that cool head, you know what's going on, you know what's happening. Maybe in the back of your mind, you don't know, but you at least exude some kind of confidence that you're the one to turn to in times of change, in times of trial, and in times of need. I think that I'm almost getting like a EMT nurse, ER kind of vibe here. Healer, but definitely, you know, cool under fire, cool under pressure. Agate, and that's interesting too, because she is, she's associated with the underworld in the Greek myths. She was the one who saw Persephone being abducted by Hades. Now, Persephone was the queen of the underworld because she married Hades, the king of the underworld. But Persephone was also the princess of spring. She was the daughter of Demeter, and Demeter is the one responsible for the seasons. Well, the one who's responsible for growth. The seasons occur because Persephone goes into the underworld during half the year to spend her time with Hades. But Agate is the one who witnessed that. So a lot of times she is the champion of those who need help, the champion of those kind of unforeseen. And then she, you know, like the forgotten, like Demeter doesn't know what happened to Persephone, and Agate lets her know. So there's a lot, definitely, when I talked about the throat chakra over here, there's a lot here to be said about your voice is important. It carries a lot of importance, and you're seen as somebody who helps out those in need. And I almost feel like the tower can be a very challenging card. So your vibe might be that your life path almost seems like you're up for those challenges, and that vibe is handling those challenges. Ooh, 9 of coin. Look at that. Very bougie. And these all come out 5 of coin. So we get kind of this duality with money. We get the 2 of wands reversed, and then we get the 7 of cups reversed. It's almost like with the 2 of cups reversed, like it's very genuine with you. There's not a 7 of cups is about possibilities and all of these different things, and like kind of juggling these possibilities, but some of them are illusions. And when I see this in reverse, I just see again this very genuine thing about you. You're not trying to hide things from people. You're not trying to trick people. When you offer, again, your advice or opportunities, it is what it seems. It's open, and I would say there's not a lot of depth to it, but because you can take what you say at face value. In a very positive way. You're not trying to trick people. You're not trying to like dangle carrots in front of people. I think you would be an amazing manager. You'd be amazing in management. Unfortunately, I don't know what the deal is with management and companies. Like the most ill-equipped people usually end up there. But like when you make promises, you're somebody who keeps them. Let's go back over here to this 9 of coins and this 5 of coins. So I said, we know when the 9 of coins came out, very bougie, but then the 5 of coins, this is some issues with arising with money, some kind of like feeling like you're out in the cold. You might have like this entrepreneurial spirit. Other people may not quite grasp it or get it, or think that there might be an element with you that invites jealousy because, like I said, ooh, bougie, you know, you like to live this, I don't want to say extravagant lifestyle, but at least like if you do something, it's quality, quality over quantity type thing. And sometimes that gets misinterpreted as like, because you like the finer things in life, like you're not going to just spend your money on crap or garbage, or you know, you seem like somebody who could go into TJ Maxx and find like the good stuff, not the mass garbage of things. Like I think I could put like a lineup of bags in front of you and you could tell me which one is the designer bag or which one's the quality bag. And I think that in the 5 of coins here, like I think you do it on a budget. Like you don't necessarily spend a ton of money, even though you might give the impression that you do, or that because you like the finer things, that you do it. Like you like to eat well, you figure out how you can just, you know, make that stuff at home rather than spend a lot of money for it. But sometimes if you share those things on social media, people misinterpret that of like, you might get some blowback sometimes of that must be nice, but that is not your vibe necessarily, that's somebody else's vibe, because I think, you know, you try to be uplifting and positive, and like I said, you can trust what you say, but if somebody trusts what they say, has more to do kind of with the lens that they're viewing you through rather than the way that you're viewed. So this is a message that you need to hear, because sometimes you're like, well, what the heck? Like, why is this person being so mean to me? Or why are they being jealous? Or why am I getting trolls in the comment section of the things that I post when I'm like genuinely this nice person? But it's not you, it's them, is what I'm trying to tell you. I also feel like that sometimes you overlook people who might be in a position to help you because you kind of have this do-it-yourself, self-made kind of mentality. So, and then I almost think that sometimes people would help you, but they kind of are just like, oh, well, you've got this, or he's got this, or you've got this. They don't need me. So you might have to use that throat chakra in times when you have some challenges or trouble, to let people know, because your vibe is saying you're independent and you don't need help here. But and that's what other people see. So when you're like, hey, you know, why did my coworker offer to help them when I'm having the same type of issue? I think you hide things well if you have issues, or the way that when you go through catastrophes, like I said, you're somebody who seems like you're very independent and very courageous. So when you go through issues or trying times, you spin it and make it look fun, or make it look like, it's no big deal. When, you know, again, inside, I think it could be a very big deal. Whew. And then we haven't even talked about the 2 of Wands here in reverse. I think you're somebody who is a little bit more spontaneous. It could help you to plan a little bit. And that's what I'm getting with the 2 of Wands. 2 of Wands is about planning. 2 of Wands is kind of like taking on the world too. Like, I'm almost getting like this pinky in the brain type of energy, like all the different plans that they put in place to take over the world, and some of them could be very absurd. And I guess I don't think that you have like necessarily those ambitions. Just because I don't want to say you're not ambitious, but you're not like you need to control everything. You're okay with the flow of things and trusting in the universe. And so let's get 2 more cards here. What else can you tell us about the vibe here? Sacral and chakra. Very interesting that we talked about chakras with that, and then we get some more chakras coming out here, because this deck is more than chakras. In fact, I think there's only like, 8 chakra cards in the deck, and you got 2 of them. So alignment, like a lot of people see you as very aligned, very connected. They probably see you as a very kind of spiritual person and connected to that spirit. The sacral chakra, you can see that's this one right here. So when the Sodalite came out and I was talking about, you know, your throat chakra and your third eye chakra, you know, you have this very cerebral thing about you, but your intuition kind of lives here in your sacral. It also is like important to remember the full, like all of the chakras, and you know, and like a chakra alignment or meditation, I think could be very helpful for you. But again, I think that the reason they're coming out is that the impression that you give to others is that you are just very aligned. You might be somebody who is into yoga or does yoga, and people appreciate that about you as well. Oh, let's get 2 of these guys. Yeah, sure. I had those upside down. We get realization and desires. If abundance is what you seek, your ambition must stream like a waterfall. So the 9 of Cups, or I'm sorry, 9 of Coins over here, it is like that whole bougie lifestyle, that whole like self-made person going out for it. And I said, you know, the 2 of Wands doesn't really seem like you're that ambitious. You might need to like crank that ambition up a little bit, or to really fully realize the things that you want. And a little bit of creative and out of the box thinking with that. And like I was saying with the going back to, if you like the finer things in life as far as food goes, well, you might have to just do it yourself. You might just have to make it yourself. And it's having that ambition to do that. I think giving yourself a little bit more goals would help you to achieve and realize it more, because again, that confidence that comes through that other people see, I don't know if you're seeing it about yourself, but it's tapping into that and creating your abundance through that. And then we get defeat and division. Do not hold on to the endings. Your pain will fade as your garden flourishes. So I feel like that might be connected here to the 5 of Coins card, because this can be thinking about pain of the past or your current pain that you're in and feeling like you're going to be stuck in this forever. This kind of feels like it's a little bit less about what other people see about yourself and more about what you're going through. And I think it goes back to what I was talking about with, you know, people just see you as confident and strong. They don't know when you're struggling. You don't let them know when you're struggling. Part of that is okay, as far as like, if that's, I mean, people deal with things in different ways, but if you're wondering like, well, how come, again, back to that coworker thing, why is my coworker helping this person when I'm going through the same thing? It's because they don't know that you're struggling. You put on this great, brave face, and sometimes you have to face your struggles and face what you're going through so that you can release it. So this is more of a message for you to make sure, because I think that some of this Tower energy, sometimes we repeat challenges and repeat lessons that we haven't fully learned, and sometimes we haven't fully learned them, not because, you know, I feel like you get better going through like maybe like bad relationships or a terrible boss or whatever. Like you might be really good at going through these cycles of like heartbreak or loss, just because you've gone through it so many times and not realizing that it's a cycle that needs to be broken. If you are just still like stuck on maybe your first love and the way that he or she treated you, it's time to examine it, look at it, release it. A great way to, you know, or even like a boss situation. Like I find myself working for the same type of of people, very controlling, micromanager, over the top. And for the longest time I thought, well, you know, I get put in these situations because I understand it and I can handle it, and that's you understanding the situation and handling it. But then it's like, well, wait a second, it's that realization of, why do I need to handle it? I don't have to handle this. And sometimes that's enough to release it. Sometimes you might have to like write down your anger or your fears or your attachments. And I have a candle here, so because I'm reminded that once you write those down, if you burn it, be careful when you burn it. Do it in like a container that can handle it. So just be careful, but if you burn it, it helps you release it to the universe and helps you move on to new cycles. So yeah, you have this great vibe, this confident vibe, this very independent vibe. But you know, the messages that are coming through to you is, of course, you know, keep your chakras aligned, do those things for your spiritual wellness and health. But you can break cycles, and you can ask for people for help if you need it. Like right now, I don't think you're getting volunteers because it appears like you have everything handled. But if you don't, ask for that help. It's around you. People are around you. And then of course the planning here, I think that's a message of, you know, you don't have to wing it all the time. Also, like maybe you are so stuck in this cycle that you don't necessarily have forward-facing goals of what I want to do or who you want to be in 5 years, or the kind of relationship that you want to be in 6 months, a year, 5 years from now. It's probably time to think about those things rather than being so in the moment. And I think that part of the reason that you seem like you do so well in the moment is because you have been kind of almost in this fight or flight type energy of just dealing with things for so long that you don't know how to rest and relax. And this is your reminder of like, let's break that cycle. Let's pick a new ending for you. And then I also feel like the 7 of Cups here is, you might feel like you don't necessarily have opportunities for you to do that, and it's more of not seeing them and not seeking them out. But the 9 of Coins tells me, and this realization and desires, like this reading I think is a great indication for you to start realizing some things, putting your desires first. And the 9 of Coins and then these chakra cards tell me that you're more than capable of creating the type of life and the type of opportunities that you want. And you can have it all. So that's what I have for you, Group 1. I hope that you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, Group 2. Thank you for being here, and this is Rhodonite. So Rhodonite gets this pinky color from manganese, and it is said to be a stone that's a peaceful stone, and it helps believers feel more compassionate and forgiving, and it encourages harmony. Especially in relationships. It can be connected with, excuse me, your heart chakra to do that, to find that more harmony. In Russia, it used to, in the 19th century, it became a popular protective stone, and people would put it in the cribs of children to help them grow strong. And then it is also a talisman used by travelers for safe journeys. So I think it's always fun. Sometimes the stones relate to the reading, sometimes they don't. In your case, let's see. I'm going to just put this to the side for a second. I'm going to pull a card from here, and then I have another card to pull out. And we'll go from there. So we have the Fool, and we've got Tiamat. So it's interesting that we talked about travel and journeys, because the Fool can talk about that too. So you might be somebody who gives off the vibe of liking to travel, of doing and experiencing new things, of starting new things. You might be somebody who has a lot of craft projects that, or project cars, or project, DIY projects. Maybe you're making wreaths, maybe you're making bows. A lot of things in progress here with the Fool. And Tiamat kind of talks about that as well, or she can. I mean, she's a Babylonian goddess. One of the first, her and, she's saltwater, and her husband, lover, what's his name? Abu? Something like that. Sorry. They created the earth together. And she was dismembered to create the earth. I know all of these mythologies are fun and interesting. So her rib cage is what holds up the heavens, that holds it away from the earth, and then her body, I think, created the earth, and then the tears from her eyes created the rivers Tigris and Euphrates. However, I think that it's more about creation, more about starting new things, more about beginnings here with you. You might also, because it was her children that rebelled against her because they wanted to seek power or have power. I think there's a peacefulness though here with you. I think there's a peaceful nature, and I think that sensitivity. I think there's a sensitivity, like the vibe you give off is, and you might even invite, unintentionally, of course, people who want to take advantage of you because of your peaceful nature, because of your enthusiasm, because of almost this childlike quality. Let's see what else we get out of this deck. So 4 cards, the vibe, our vibey person here. We have 2 of Pentacles reversed, and that kind of like reversed in my hand, so that's interesting. 4 of Swords. What else do we have? Strength reverse. And we get the High Priestess. Very interesting. So you're somebody who has a lot of intuition. A lot of intuition going for you. The Strength reverse kind of tells me that Strength is really a card about the kind of that internal struggle that goes on, and you need to trust yourself. When you struggle with your thoughts and ideas, and it's interesting that Tiamat has like these jellyfish here, I think it's visible to other people when you're struggling with yourself. Maybe it's your intuition versus your logic, or your intuition versus your heart. You need to follow your intuition. We're talking about vibes here. You need to follow your own vibes. When you get a vibe off of a person, not to trust them, I feel like you're somebody who can sometimes get talked into trusting them. Kind of like this Fool energy here of like, you are trusting, you are lovely, you are very nice. And I think that unfortunately, there's some people out here that take advantage of you. Glad we have the 4 of Swords. This is, you get like this more relaxed vibe. You do like to take in information. It's just not, you need to have a system really of how you take that in and process it, and like a hierarchy of how it comes in. I think you're somebody who likes to have all of the facts, who likes to know things, who but sometimes there's a struggle, like that internal struggle inside, where you get some facts and you feel like it's facts at the time, and you're like, that doesn't seem right, or that doesn't seem real, but I'm very trusting, so I'm going to go along with it. And what you really need to do is trust your gut, trust your intuition here with the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a major arcana card. I think the High Priestess helps you solve this issue of conflicts that can go on in your mind. I think you might be somebody that also has intrusive thoughts, and I don't think that you're shy about that, because this is the vibe that's coming through. So I think some other people see that a lot of times you question yourself, and they might take that as weakness, when really the reason that you're questioning yourself is because you want to be fair, you want to be impartial, you want to have like the full capacity or full compass of things. But you also want to be like a very kind person and a very trusting person. So you need to be careful about who you surround yourself with, because you want to invite people who respect that about you and who treat that well, and use your intuition to figure out who those people are, instead of people who are trying to take advantage of you, group 2. We have the 2 of Pentacles, and this is one that kind of came out in my hand. I think that you're somebody who juggles a lot of things. You juggle a lot of hats. I said something about you taking on a lot of new projects and a lot of okay, if I didn't say something, you take on a lot of new projects and a lot of new things that come in. You might have some things that you don't quite always finish, maybe because it's a time thing. I think you underestimate how long things take. And I think you're somebody that at work, you hold your hand up like, we need to get this done. And you're like, well, that's not my job. Like, that's not something that you say. You're just like, oh, I'll do it. And you do it more for the fact of, you want that experience. You want those new experiences, and you're excited to do it. But you have to be careful about that, and careful about juggling those types of things, because that's what kind of leads to some clutter that goes on in your mind. I think you're somebody who thinks a lot about things, and who that has a lot going on. Sorry, I'm just anyway, I was dealing with this duck. But I think the advice here is like, slow down, breathe, just allow. Sometimes things will solve themselves. There's no action required. And I think you're somebody who likes to put action behind things. You see a problem as an opportunity, and you're like, I can do this. I have the solution. I can figure this out. I can, so you're very, with the Fool energy, here is like, yeah, let's go. Let's do this. Let's figure it out. Where in times you just might need to like take a breath and let the universe work on it. Let it work itself out. And that can help you with feeling overwhelmed. Ooh, we get cat. And then we get dragon. Love this. I kind of feel the dragon should be over here and the cat should be over here. Reason being is the 2 of Pentacles kind of relates a little bit more to the dragon. The dragon is about determination and will and seeing things through. And this whole section here with the Fool, jumping into new things, figuring things out, wanting to experience new things, and then kind of feeling overwhelmed by it is kind of explained by the dragon, that you have like this determination and willpower to do it. What is it costing you? Is it costing you your free time? Is it even really worth it? Sometimes you just need to calm that dragon down. There should be no questions of all the things that you can handle, how ferocious you are, we'll say. And then the dragon just says, like, whatever you have in your sights, go for it. If you fail, try again. If you're thinking about giving up, don't hang in there. But you kind of have to decide, like, because I almost feel like with all the other cards that it's like a thing of... you're determined to make sure that everything gets done. I think you're somebody who will take things off of other people's plates but you're not somebody who will give, you know, your things up to other people. And other people have lessons to learn as well. So you don't have to be selfish on those lessons. You can let other people learn their own lessons. And maybe one of your lessons is to like calm that dragon down and live with that dragon and give that dragon love, kind of with the strength. Usually the strength card, and this has it on here, the strength has a lion, and the lion is walking with usually a woman, and she is the one who's kind of in charge of the lion. It's kind of the wild and untamed version of ourselves, or in our mind, being calmed or being controlled. Control is an illusion, but being controlled by the woman, by the person walking with the lion. So when I talked about your intrusive thoughts, or that negative thinking that can run wild here when we've got strength in reverse, it's learning the control or mastery of it. And I also wanted to put this over here because it's also interesting that because we have a lion here and then we get the cat is coming out of somebody's mouth. So this is the cat has your tongue, and this card is telling you to say something you've been wanting to say. The cat's got your tongue and you feel like you can't express what needs to be said. Whatever it is, it's best to not let that cat win. Holding it in will only cause more damage in the long run. So I kind of feel like that's why these two are connected. You know, have the courage to say what you need to say, but you can say it in a good way. You can say it with love. You can say it with compassion. But this, I kind of feel like communication might be something like, when I talked about the propensity here for people to kind of take advantage of you, part of that is they don't think that they're going to get flack from you. They don't think that they're going to get pushback from you. And I kind of feel like, you know, we're discussing this right now. We're discussing your vibe so that you can find the courage to let this out. And I almost feel like finding the courage and using it with love, I think it's going to come out no matter what. So you can find a way, like a controlled way to say what you need to say here. What else can we talk about for group 2 and group 2's vibe? All right. Okay. I'm just going to take it kind of the way that they landed rather than how they came out. So creativity and alchemy. I love that with the Fool, because like the next step after the Fool in the major arcana is the Magician. But it takes a step. It takes a putting things into practice rather than just being excited about it and seeing the potential in everything. And that's the creativity and alchemy. Fortune and prosperity go hand in hand, as do your ability to sustain what you already have. And I'm just going to put that here. The Two of Pentacles, like Pentacles talks about fortune, Pentacles talks about money, and it's in reverse here. We've talked about a couple reasons why it might be in reverse, you know, juggling things, taking on too many things, that kind of thing. And a lot of times we think that, oh, I want more fortune, I want more prosperity, and especially in terms of our job, I'm going to take on more. But this, I think, is together, all of this is like, meditate on it. I think that there's things that you're doing that are not for your best self-interest, that are not for your best good. I know that you have amazing, fantastic intentions, but not everybody around you does. So the whole thing is about, you know, standing up for yourself and standing in your power and voicing your opinion and your needs, and then making that happen. And there's a lot of fortune and prosperity in that. And then we've got hostility and enmity. Do not allow your ego to blind your soul. Offer benevolence to those who despise you. So I think again, kind of goes back here. That's why I think that it was perfect over the strength card that we have in reverse, and the cat's got your tongue, because it speaks to like this recognition of like, hey, you know, I'm putting off this vibe that I might be a little naive, or I'm putting off this vibe that I'm eager to take on challenges, and so then other people might be willing to take advantage of me. And it's not seeing that with hostility, it's seeing that with, oh, okay, this is what I'm putting out there, I need to change that, and I'm going to tell you, I don't appreciate being taken advantage of, or I feel like in this situation I'm being taken advantage of. I've been taking on all of these tasks, being taken on all of these things. I've done it with love, I've done it with the best of intention, but you have given it to me not for the best of intention. So it's that I love that part about offering benevolence to those who despise you. I don't think that necessarily people despise you, but it's definitely like they see you as like a oh, okay, well this person will just do it. They'll just handle it for me, and it's becoming overwhelming to you. I don't want to say doormat here, but this is part of your like, hey, no. You know, the buck stops here. You promised me, you know, I've been taking on like extra hours to make sure this stuff gets done, and I haven't been compensated for that. Or you have promised me certain things and that hasn't happened. So with these, I feel like there's some discussions that need to be had, that need to be made. You need to figure it out in your own mind first, figure out how you can say it with integrity, with love, and then have that in a very kind of logical type of way. It's interesting when I say logical type of way when we have the High Priestess here, because she's more about that intuition, but she's not emotional. It is about, usually she's depicted here with, she's in control of her emotions. She's aware of them. She's using her emotions as a way to guide her. So when you're feeling a certain way, why is it that you're feeling that way? Explore it, figure it out. And when is it because you've been projecting this like idealistic version of yourself that will take on anything, will take on any challenge and any task, and it's like, hey, wait a second, I understand that I've been willing and able to take on these things in the past. I can't right now. I can't do that. I need you express your needs. That's what I have for you, group 2. I hope that you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, group 3. So this is agate. It's an agate egg. It's actually, the stone is dyed this green, but you can see all the pretty crystals in here. And I just think it's so serene, and it really kind of matches this deck. We are going to get cards though. We'll get back to this. We'll pull cards, don't worry. I'm just going to get like an overall vibe here from this deck, which is just the major arcanas, which we get the world. And then from this one, which is Witches of Legend, we get Medea. Isn't that Tyler Perry's character? Definitely not Tyler Perry here. Okay, so the world is like an ending. The world is like, you've been through a journey, you've been through cycles, you've been through it, you've done it, and you have the t-shirt. You might, give off the vibe that you are ready for a new adventure, or just that you have like people come to you because they know that your advice, like you have been through it, you've seen it, you've done it all. Medea is from Jason and the Argonauts. She's from Greek myth. She's a demigod, which means that she's like part human, part god. I think Helios is, I don't know if it's her father or grandfather is Helios. But she helps Jason get the Golden Fleece, is her claim to fame. Now, she's very intelligent. She's very industrious. very skillful, passionate, intelligent again, but she also is like, because she has a dark side, and you don't want to cross her, and she ends up marrying Jason, but then he leaves her, and then she exacts revenge, and it's not pretty. So I'm not going to say that you exact revenge, but you know, you might have a petty nature there, or if somebody crosses you, you're not somebody to be crossed. You're somebody who's gonna be like, no, do not cross me. We get the Knight of Swords reversed. Let's see what else we get here. This is the Way of the Panda deck. And one more. Okay. Let's see what we have. Ooh, interesting. Knight of Cups and Knight of Swords, both reversed. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles and the King of Cups. So the one thing with Knights is they're about movement. They're about moving forward. They're like going places. Sometimes when they're in reverse, it can be like the toxic nature of the Knight, or it can be, I mean, it can speak to you having a dark side, and really concerning love here with the Knight of Cups. Like, you're not somebody to be crossed. You might be somebody who is blunt. You say it like it is. Like, you have this vibe of like, ooh, yeah, I'm not gonna mess with you, is kind of what I'm getting here. The swords, again, that intelligence, I think that it can be harnessed. I think you have some negative intrusive thoughts that can be harnessed in a very unproductive way, we'll say. But you have some really great stuff too here. Like, I think that there is, I think it's more of not necessarily you're putting these things into action, but in conversation, people are like, what? Like, what? Like, the things that you say are kind of like, wow, okay, let's move on. Or, and for instance, like Sarah Silverman, comedian, but she can say some really cutting, some really blunt things, and for comedy purposes, for comedic purposes. So I think you have a purpose around the things that you say. I don't think you're actually doing them, which is good, but people are like, whoa, okay, you know. And I think that there's like this kind of like fun conversation that you can have around it. The reason I don't think that you actually put these things into practice, even though I think that you do have intrusive thoughts that you tell people and they're like, whoa, is because we've got the King of Cups over here, and the King is like the master of his emotions. So even though you might have emotions that run through that you're like, you know, the King controls his emotions. The King keeps that under wraps, and the cool, calm, and collected, and he is in charge of those emotions. He would be like that quintessential father who you might not be like all touchy-feely around people, but you show love in a very like mature and kind of like respectful way. And then we've got the Nine of Pentacles as like somebody who is very independent. I think you know, Medea is independent here. Very capable, very independent. You might have like the entrepreneurial spirit with the Nine of Pentacles. Like, this person is just basking in their wealth that's all around them. This person, this panda, and has like collected all of their things, and it's like, yeah. So very, definitely a very sure energy, although underneath it, I think you're like, okay, this is my dark side. I do have this propensity to a dark side. I don't think you indulge it. And I don't think that you like tell everybody about it. And I think that you kind of keep it under wraps. And I think that there is kind of, again, the reason being is because you have like experienced a lot of things. And you might even be, if you're a younger person, be called an old soul, or you have experienced a lot of things in possibly a past life. I do think that you're healing those things though, and I think that healing through humor, I think humor is part of that healing, because I think you're a very funny person. I can't exactly point to what is coming through with that, other than how, as I'm reading this, I'm really feeling that. I'm feeling your humor, I'm feeling your confidence, you know, and the king also has been through a lot. He has been through trials and tribulations. He has a lot of responsibility. You're a very responsible person. People can trust you, even though you might be, you might say some off the wall things at times. It's funny that I say off the wall things, and then we get an I in the mouth. But I think you're very, like, this talks about the things that you see, your observations. I think that your perspective is a very interesting perspective. It's not run-of-the-mill perspective. It's something that people are interested in your perspective, and they like what you have to say. It's because you've seen it all. You've seen a lot. This card usually comes out when somebody needs to observe something instead of speaking first. I kind of feel like though, and you might blurt out some things that people aren't really ready for, but I do feel like it comes from an area, you know, because we've got the world and Medea here. It comes from you've seen this before, you know the patterns, you recognize those things, but also crystal ball. Also, you have this clairvoyance-ness about you, you've seen it, but you also have like that otherworldly guidance, like you're looking into a crystal ball. Again, I think that the vibe that you give off is that you see things, the world, in a different way. Because you have been through so much, sometimes your pattern recognition of things, people might think that you have a crystal ball, or might think that you're a fortune teller or a tarot reader, or you just have like this wise nature about you. The crystal ball can be associated with the third eye chakra, which is located like in the middle of your forehead. It's said to have like that clairvoyance, that psychic ability. People might think that there's something mysterious about you in that way, because you do listen to your intuition, and sometimes it's very unfiltered. I think your soul knows the way, and then I just think that, you know, I don't want to say that you stick out, but and I don't want to say that you go around telling people what to do, but certainly you're somebody who I think can give some really great advice. What else do we have? One more card. Okay, one more card. Oh, and they said, no, we're getting 2 more cards. Okay. Willpower and vulnerability. Strength and fragility teach us how our vulnerability is purely a blessing. I almost think that you do have a vulnerability about you, but people don't always see it. Only a select few know that. Because I think that you come off as somebody who's very confident and knowing, and you know, but the willpower I definitely see, like you're gonna make it happen, you're gonna get the job done. Guidance and discovery. There is a map inside your heart may you one day realize you are both a seeker and the guide. So I do feel like you know that, because again, I feel like you've been through a lot. You know that you're the guide, and people see that you're the guide. So even if you don't know that you're the guide, people know you're the guide. People see this like clairvoyance that you have, see this that you have a guidance, that there is like this invisible map that is that you can tap into, and you do it confidently. You allow your heart to follow that, and I think you even give, it may not always seem like this, but you give advice from your heart. Again, like it's because you see it, you've seen it before, and then the guidance you give is from your heart. Some of it may not be fully understood that way, or a little unsolicited, but I think it's part of like, that's just new people, and then they realize, like it takes them longer to realize something than it takes you to realize. And then we've got balance and wealth. Witness your desire blossom and expand when you simply ask for what your soul demands. I think this is part of, very connected here to the 9 of Pentacles. You might be somebody that people see and they're like, wow, how did this person, make that happen? It may not just be wealth, because this is about abundance. So, like your connections, like you maybe not have like a ton, Elon Musk money in the bank, but you have like those connections with other people. Where you can go to like borrow a truck, or you have like those that, like, and I would consider that connections or abundance around you, that when you put out a desire into the universe, like, oh, I need a truck, like, well, great, somebody has that for me to borrow, or you're looking for certain things, and it just starts to manifest for you. You have that ability. It's part of this confidence. It's part of this 9 of Pentacles. So I hope that this has helped you maybe understand yourself, or unlocked some things within inside you a little bit. Group 3, you sound like a very interesting person. Anyway, so I hope you understand that, because I don't think that everybody quite appreciates or quite gets you, and that's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to stand out, and yeah, that's what I have. So thanks so much for being here, and I will see you in the next reading.